Okay, my loves, let's do this. This is going to be a reading for any masculine energy seeking feminine energy. Now it is set up so it can operate in a pick a card style. So please pick a number between 1 and 4. And if you are already in a relationship, you can still do the pick a card, and that will speak to the person that you are in partnership with right now. Or you can just go by the elements that I'm going to mention, because each number within the 1 to 4 spectrum is going to break down to an element. As I go along, I'm going to explain all the positions of the cards as well. And if you'd like, I do a Divine Masculine and Feminine reading every other week from when I do these. I also do a daily chakra tune-up for the collective, which is kind of just a daily message for us. And your monthlies came out last week, so if you look to the playlist, there is a spread on a board like the same board that will have your zodiac signs monthly there for you. Now, we are going to start with number 1, and if you chose number 1, that is an earth sign. I'm going to give you what is attracting you to these different positions. And through this attraction, it's going to tell you what this person is trying to teach you, because it's what you want to learn. There's something that they have that you find very desirable. So I get here that despite being held back, despite having a disadvantage in some way, and this feels like even a tie to something that is just overly powerful for this individual that wants to kind of dominate them, rule them. It could be a father figure, another person in their life, maybe that they've been in partnership with, a societal thing, a job or something. It feels like this person is still wanting to fight a little bit, like take a stand a little bit and not give up. There is definitely a vulnerability about this person, and almost a Gemini quality where they really sit in these two energies at the same time. That vulnerability, yet that strength. And it's very alluring to see because it's so humanizing. And they're not just one-sided and, surface, and you can't see what's really going on. So I think this person's going to be presenting themselves in a way that they're also, not trying to keep secrets. They're not trying to hide anything. They're very much an open book. And they may be like that, into speaking their personal truth, because they really have no other choice. If they don't, then they succumb to powers that are really overbearing for them. I do see that, you will find this individual very physically attractive too. You may admire some of their youthful qualities, and they may have used a lot of language in the past to fight with. They may have had a lot of verbal battles and spoken away, or have engaged in that way. And I'm just getting that there's an energy here where they are trying to learn something new, a new way of resolving issues and restoring peace and finding balance. I definitely don't think that they are going to be a person that's drawn to being submissive or feeling as if they are unequal to you. So that could be a top priority for them, is that respect for them being able to just be them. Now, if you picked number 2, this is going to be a air sign. Excuse me. I have a feeling that this person's been single for a while, and they are really clear about things because of that, there isn't a whole lot of personal drama that they have within their relationship sector. I do feel, though, that they like to show up and appear fairly strong, even somewhat overly assertive. They may overcompensate in a way, and they may do that through not so much their verbal expression, but just the way that they use their body language and the way that they posture themselves, and maybe even their facial expressions. And to an extent, maybe what they choose to, the different types of clothing that they may show up in. It feels as if they know what to say if they need to, but they choose not to engage in activity that's going to bring in a bunch of drama unless absolutely necessary. But they do have, like an air sign would, the skills to speak for themselves or speak in defense of other people if need be. I do feel that you will be quite drawn to this person because of their physical appearance. And you may just feel like you're a bee kind of buzzing around them for a while, because I don't get a strong sense that they are really have, at least, like, they're not motivated to be seeking partnership at this time so much. But I wouldn't say that, it's not worth a try to get close and see what you can learn about them. So if you picked number 3, this is going to be a fire sign. Now, this person may be coming out of a relationship, or kind of still in one, kind of coming out of one that's not working too well for them, that's on the verge of ending. They may actually have strong feelings for this person that they are detaching from, because this person may be doing more of the detaching, letting this person go. And I think for you, you're in that state of, like, why would anyone let this person go? Like, this is such a wonderful person. Like, you really view this individual as a catch. And I think that they do as well. They don't quite see maybe even what's coming for them as far as a breakup goes, because they do see that they hold a lot of value and they are able to create a lot of value. But for some reason, it may just be a compatibility issue here, that this person is going to be released from another partnership. And this may have been a fairly long-standing partnership that they were in. I think for you, the issue may be that you are so drawn to them, and you may understand that they are in something already, or that they're going to need some space from what they're in to be able to make the transition to, being with someone new, that this person may just be someone that is hard to get off your mind, like, because you find that you're just so attracted to them, and the idea of having to wait on it may be overly just, asking way too much of you. Now, let's see, for number 4, that would be a water sign that's coming up. You may really look up to this person. You may see that they are someone that sort of defies what is it even means to be a human. Like they have almost a superhuman quality about them. You may be fairly intimidated by this person, and you may not be sure why. It's just they have this certain presence about them that is very mysterious, and it's almost like you can't figure them out. So something about that, the unknown element, can strike a bit of fear in you, I think. But yet you're still drawn to them because of it, because it's kind of a spooky kind of vibe that they got going. And it's just different, like this isn't an energy that you're just going to run into all the time. However, I think in trying to approach this individual, you may find that they are quick with rebuttals, or being quite, not even like defensive, but offensive. You may find that they have a way of getting at your thoughts in a way where you feel that it causes you some mental anguish in a way. And you do see this paradoxical quality about them too. Like they have this vibe that they come from the light, but yet they have such a dark, mysterious energy at the same time that it just doesn't quite add up for you, because you're trying to look at it logical. And again, this is a water sign, so this is going to be an element that's coming through that is not meant to be understood through the logical part of your mind. This is a being that operates a lot on intuition, feeling, psychic insight, and being connected to higher vision. And you may not find this person to be the most attractive person to you physically, but yet it's like you don't even care. There's just something, it's almost like it makes it even more mysterious, like why you're so drawn to them, because maybe this isn't your usual type. Now let's have a look at what they are going to find the most attractive about you. And I think that they're going to find you fairly physically attractive in a way where you're sort of pushing boundaries. Like you may not sit exactly still as far as your identity goes, where you're in an energy that kind of defies typical physical gender identification. Like you don't really care about having to fit into the traditional look of masculine and feminine. So they may enjoy that you have more of a progressive look about yourself in a way, just something that's very current, and that you also know how to be comfortable in the feminine energy, that in a way it makes you feel complete to them. It's the missing link that maybe they can't find in other people, and they find that highly alluring. And I think that they also like, because that puts you in a receptive mode too. They enjoy that you know how to step into feminine energy and just be relaxed, because a lot of these energies, aside from our fire sign, I feel can be a little bit intense, and so you may really be a counterpart to them as far as what type of energy they're actually bringing. Now, a quality that they may not find as alluring about you is that you may be very much in your head a lot, very theoretical. You may have a lot of ideas that take a lot of time to explain and just sort of sit in your own world in a way, and that may lack a little bit of romance and a little fun for them. It may seem a little boring. And it's not that they don't like an intelligent person, because they very, very much do. Or even a person that is a professional, that has a strength of character to them. It's more that there's almost an obsessive quality about it. That it's that thing like when people have such a strength in one area, it makes them lopsided in other areas of their life. And in this particular instance, it could be that, yes, you have such great skills in the mental space, but maybe your relationship, your interpersonal skills may not be meeting their expectations. Now, when we take a look here at what characteristics that are going to help bind this relationship, create some harmony, it may be about your enjoyment of exploring things together that seem a little bit odd to the contemporary times, like a willingness to go back and look at the root of different philosophies that are coming out, and really looking at what seems to be it's kind of funny because now I'm getting a mix of different philosophies in one here. It's kind of this funky exploration of ancient theorems that are sort of hodgepodge together. So you may have, and it doesn't have to be about this, but that is an area of interest, basically. So you may have like a little kooky area of interest that you both enjoy really looking into, that binds you together, creates a lot of harmony. And it has this element of just kind of like unexpected, as if other people, if they were involved, they'd be like, what is this? It's so strange. Now, what may be a little disharmonious is an over attentiveness to the spiritual quality of the relationship. So maybe it's this sort of energy going too far, although this energy feels far more, as if we were to throw time in here, way down the timeline, of more of a current to even coming in the future moment. There may be a lot of anticipation of like living in the future, what's going to happen in the future, a dependency on understanding where one's spirituality lies, and this progressing it as far as one can right now in the moment, and trying to like rush it into the future, trying to evolve basically really fast as a spiritual being. And it may create a little imbalance in the relationship. Now I'm going to look at what is your area of your greatest bond, basically. The real glue. And I don't know what to say here, because when I look at this, the message I clearly get are, like, this is an outmoded way of being. To me, this is I was going to say a repression of the classic goddess energy, like the initial goddess energy, although I see that energy at second take just sort of keeping quiet in the background, and there is a big presence there, an almost foundational presence, and the fact that it's, you know, there and fairly close, and that it's calm. There may actually be a real acceptance here and an allowance for this big energy of the real female energy, the real divine feminine energy to be present in this relationship. So there may be just a nice respect for that and keeping space for that. And a lot of love. I do see a lot of love here. Not a ton of emotion. And in the distance, if you knew this individual before, it may have felt very barren, like there wasn't any type of real emotional expression, and there may have been a lot of interest on material things and just foundational things, and nothing really flourished. It never got beyond the first phase of trying to discover the potential of it. Now, when I see the energies really interacting here, I do see that the feminine is more so communicating with higher wisdom than with the masculine energy. And it almost feels like she's trying to get away from the masculine energy. There may be a feeling that she is concerned that this energy might even be trying to take advantage of her. She may be concerned if there's a tendency towards violence here. And so I basically am seeing that there's not a lot of trust here. And I'm not picking up that the masculine is even quite aware of this, that this is going on, that this is the position of the female. So the feminine energy may not be really being very open about what they're thinking, feeling, perceiving right now. And this may be just really, you know, new type of energy where they don't feel free to really speak right now in this. I do also see that the masculine is also concerned with higher wisdom. It's like there are two really great energies around these individuals of you know, like a respect for divinity, for true divinity, and the focus is there. So this may be definitely, which I've kind of picked up throughout here, more of a spiritual connection for this relationship. That may be a big focal point for it. And the actual rapport among the feminine and the masculine as a, you know, more of that loving, traditional, balanced, happy couple, it doesn't feel necessarily in that realm. So I guess, and I know every time I read these cards, I love this deck. I get so much off of it. But when I have it in this position, which it's intended for, I pick decks for each position, it's like I can't help but be honest with what's coming through, and I intended this to be like what's really binding you together. But I guess, you know, it makes sense, because those deepest bonds or deepest, you know, areas where we're magnetized, like they're there, and they also create the most potential for transformation and growth. So it's like you can never really have just the good stuff without taking the other part of it. There's always this, you know, I don't necessarily believe in duality, but this other energy that wants to come through and work its way through and without having some type of bond, it's like not even possible. So I do see that there are, maybe this potential to really transform these traditional roles that are unhealthy and outmoded, and where the feminine is more or less sort of just taken advantage of and not really, and the masculine's maybe just more ignorant of it. I see that there is this potential to have something get restored back to maybe how relationships could function better if they were, examined and redefined, basically through higher ideals. Okay, so we're going to end that there. And like I said, I have other playlists available. If you want to check out any of my other readings, you are more than welcome to. This reading's meant to be a little bit more lighthearted and fun compared to some of the other readings I do. But nevertheless, I tend to get into deeper issues even with this read. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you for being here, and take good care.